it's just kind of weird to think about. I don't know any other city where you say that, where people are working, you know, such a 24-hour life that people have that kind of expression. That's something I've only heard out here in Vegas. What's going on, guys? It's Jacob Borth here with a video of Jacob's Life in Vegas to talk to you guys about living in Las Vegas and a couple things I noticed. They're just different when I first moved out here. I came from California, moved to Las Vegas. I'll talk about a few things I just noticed were different, kind of caught my attention when I was first living out here. So I'll get into that in a second. But before, I got to tell you guys, thank you for subscribing to this channel. I appreciate all of you that have subscribed. You guys are awesome. You guys do a great job of commenting, a great job of sharing these videos, and I appreciate it. Please check out my website, JacobslifeinVegas.com, to get on the email list. Get a free goodie just for signing up on that list. You can follow me on Twitter at JacobsVegasLife. And on Instagram, you want to see pictures, some short clips of life around Vegas. It's Jacob's Life in Vegas over on Instagram as well. Now, this is one that I just video wanted to make, and just people will ask me some of the things that are like little things that are different about Vegas. And there were some little things I noticed when I first came out here. A lot of them involve actually driving and like traffic and stuff like that. Like when I came out here initially, I remember seeing the roads, because Vegas has got so much done so much growing out here recently, and they're still even more growing. Some of these roads, these new roads, have been put in like these areas where they just have houses sprouting up everywhere, huge giant freaking lanes. Like, it'll be just this huge wide road, it'll just be separated by one line. So really, like, the lane on each side could probably fit like 2 or 3 actual lanes of cars, but it'll be unmarked. So it's funny because sometimes people will treat it like it's just one lane. Then I've seen other people before where they'll treat it like it's 2 lanes. They'll just go right around. People will pass them on the right-hand side because it's just this unmarked road. It's just this giant paved, unmarked road where it's just the middle is divided and that's it. Like, on each side, there's so much more space for cars that they'll probably wind up, you know, making more lanes in the future. But that was one thing I noticed, is how wide some of these roads are, like to the extreme out here sometimes, and it makes driving on them a little interesting. Another thing about driving, when I came out here, where the traffic lights were a little different. I was used to always, like, when you're trying to make a left-hand turn at an intersection and you're waiting like for the oncoming traffic to clear, just seeing the green light, the full green light, you just says, you know, wait, you just yield to oncoming traffic. Here when I was driving, I remember the first time I saw the flashing yellow arrow, and I saw that, I had to look and actually read this sign. I was like, that's kind of cool to tell you to yield to traffic. So you'll see the green circle out here too, but that flashing yellow arrow, I'd never seen that in California until I moved. I'd never seen it until I moved out here to Vegas when I came from California. And way up on the north side of town, it's the only place I've seen this where they have, where it's got to be like at a 3-way stop, like on a main road. And there's actually a lane all the way on the far right where you don't even have to pay attention to the traffic light. If you're just driving through, it's like a separate lane, even from the other lanes going straight or turning, and you can actually just like go through the traffic light like it's its own expressway or something. It's kind of interesting. I've only seen it up on the north side of town, so that was weird when I first saw that. That threw me for a minute. Another thing that's a little different about here is because it's such a 24-hour city, and there's a lot of people who have jobs that work, you know, odd kind of hours. A lot of people work in tourism or hospitality or nightlife or that kind of thing. It's people's schedules. When they work like 5 days a week, but say they get like Tuesday, Wednesday off, you know, that's just how their schedule works out, because it's just the way the city is built. But being 24 hours, you need people around the clock, you know, 7 days a week. So people will say, like, you know, if they're off Tuesday, Wednesday from work, that's their work schedule, then they'll say like, oh, you know, Thursday is my Monday. Or they'll say, you know, Monday is my Friday, is the way they'll say it actually. And I first time I heard that was kind of interesting, because I had to think about it, and they were like, oh yeah, you know, to hear people say, Sunday, that's my Friday. It's just kind of weird to think about. I don't know any other city where you say that, where people are working, you know, such a 24-hour life that people have that kind of expression. That's something I've only heard out here in Vegas. So those are just some things I noticed when I first came out, just some little different things about the daily life out here. So any of you who live here now, please tell me something that you noticed that was different out here, especially, you know, if you came from somewhere else. And just little things like that. I just thought those were kind of interesting to think about, the stuff that's just unique to Las Vegas. So that's going to be it for this video, guys. I am Jacob, and this is my life in Vegas.